my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
God, that takes me back. That's a good old rockin' song, that is. But guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to THFC, till we die, home past present. An exciting future, of course, under Thomas Frank as we gear up for the biggest game of the season, the North London Derby. But we're going to talk about that later in the week. Tonight, it's all about rumours, transfer windows, and what players might become in silly season, as we like to call it, as everyone in the press says, this player's going there, that player's going there, and we probably end up getting no one. Just a massive big up to Scotland last night, qualifying for the World Cup for the first time since 1998, and also Wales qualifying for the playoff as well by beating North Macedonia 7-1, and an absolute belter. But Scotland's game, Rain, big up to you. Thanks for joining me, bud. I hope you're all right. But Scotland's game, that was a bit dramatic, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, to be honest, I do like to have a bit of a turn off. I do like to switch off during the international breaks. It's a nice little bit of downtime from the football grind. But these last few days, you can't help but have seen it, can you? It's like
No.
you mentioned Scotland. I've seen so many clips of Kieran McKenna scoring that last minute goal from his own half, from the commentators celebrating like mad, which you love to see. You love to see it. To people who took videos in their, a couple of people who took videos in their living rooms, and going mental that like we do. You can so feel it. Going mental that the referee isn't blowing the whistle, because it was like 7 minutes or something. It was like 7 minutes.
It was something ridiculous.
But then also going mental that the Scotland players weren't like, you know, like just controlling the ball, you know, just so much emotion. And then when the ball got passed out to Kieran McKenna, he took it past that player, and then dinked it. What a hit that was!
It was. I mean,
They all go amazing. You know, they all go nuts. You can't help but.
It's been a mental few days, and you go back to the Ireland game on Sunday. I mean, that was mental as well in itself, and that had very much Scotland vibes to it last night as well, because after 3 games we were dead and buried. We had no chance of qualifying out of that group, no chance whatsoever. Then we got the win against Armenia, which, you know, a win's a win. Everyone's still, well, look, we're going to finish 3rd. Hungary, there's no way of Hungary, you know, losing it now. They beat Armenia when we beat Portugal. And then on the last day, it just all goes. Beating Portugal for me was the turning point for us. And I'm so pleased, like, for Scotland as well, because they deserve it. It's been 1998 in France, the last time they qualified for a World Cup. Us is 2002. And there's you lot, just walking through 7 wins out of 7, arguing amongst themselves. Just a question on that. I want to ask you a question on that game and the reaction of Joe Bellingham, his reaction of being substituted. Do you have a problem with that as a fan? Because I asked Tequila last night, and his answer was, not really. But do you, as an England fan, do you have a problem with it?
I wouldn't say I'm a massive England fan, to be honest. Don't.
Come to Ireland. It's more fun. It's more fun.
I'm not really a massive England fan. I love going to Spurs and Tottenham are my club. I don't really watch England. I don't know what you're talking about with Jude Bellingham. I know that he's had. I know that he's.
Let me set the scene for you then. Let me set the scene for you. He got substituted, and I think he threw his shirt to the ground. He was disgusted. He was having a go at manager. Well, let me rephrase the question then. If it was a Tottenham player and he reacted like that, and we've seen many Spurs players react like that, get substituted and kicking. We saw, what was it? Bentancur, wasn't it?
Well, go on.
Yeah, Bentancur hitting the chair, kicking the chair because he's frustrated. Do you have a problem with that? Because I don't. I think it's a good reaction to have, actually, that you're frustrated that A, you couldn't play better, you couldn't influence the game better on the pitch, or you're frustrated with yourself, or B, you're frustrated with the team, that the team are not playing well, and I was doing my best out there. I don't have a problem with it. Do you?
I don't have a problem with it, and I think I was going to say, I know with Jude Bellingham, he hasn't always been in the squad recently.
Yeah.
Tuchel's been sort of tinkering. I don't know whether to to bring in, you know, to bring in players who might have to be in the squad, or, you know, to get them game time. You know, there was a lot of talk that Bellingham wasn't going to be in the World Cup squad at all. So the problem I've got with a lot of this analysis of why somebody, you know, whether that is good or bad, is you cannot get into that person's head. You can only speculate. You can only speculate. I mean, you've given so many. Actually, you've done the perfect thing. You've said it could be this, or this. And honestly, you know, we don't know which it is. We can only speculate. And I think if you speculate, you know, I think he's done it because he's sick and tired of his teammates. Well, how do you know? You know, how do you know? And a good example for us was Van der Ven and Spence, wasn't it? After the Chelsea game. And I saw people saying, you know, they're sick and tired of Frank and his tactics and style of play. And I was like, what? No. I was like, wait a minute. All you're doing is saying that you don't like Frank's tactics and style of play, and you're going, oh, they must feel the same as me. No, that's not the way that it works. And they've come out and said afterwards they were just very frustrated with the way that the game went. So
I noticed that as well, Rain. I noticed that especially on social media, there was a lot of, the sick of Frank's management, the sick of the tactics. And as fans, we could always put 2 and 2 together and get 5. We very rarely get 2 and 2 together gets 4. We very rarely get it right. And I think you're spot on by that. Just hold your horses on that. I want to welcome a few people in the chat. I want to get back to that because you've started up a very good conversation on that. There's a question in my head I want to ask you. Big up to Leo Stein, man. Big up to you. I hope you're doing all right, Leo. As well. He says that Scotland game was mad. It was mental. It was absolutely mental. Simon Cohen, big up to you. Great intro, Dan. Look, not down to me, down to my mate Colin. We did that intro for it. There is going to be an updated version of that. A bit like EA, a bit like with the F1 26 game not coming out, just going for a massive update, then coming back to 27. We're going to do a bit of an update on our intro, so look out for that. Big up to all Q70. Come on, you boys in green. Come on, Ireland. The boy Troy. Yeah, Troy Parrott did well. There's a question in my head for Ray and Bat Troy Parrott. Were we a little bit too harsh on the boy? And maybe are we being the same with Dean Scarlett as well, whose contract expires in 2027? So needs to get his arse moving. Big up to Wayne Bonner. He says, good evening, folks. Hope you're all well, having a great week. 2-0 Spurs on Sunday. Yes, exactly. Me and Rain Man are going. Look, I'm very nervous about North London Derby, Wayne. I usually go into it quite confidently. We're going to win. Rain Man knows what I'm like. You all know what I'm like. I'm usually confident. This one, I'm not. I'm using reverse psychology. I'm going in saying we're going to lose. So when we win, I'm going to be hyper happy. And then if we lose, then I can't be disappointed we lost because I said we're going to lose anyway. So it's reverse psychology, Wayne. I'm doing that now this weekend. Don't watch international football except the Euros and the World Cup. Bellingham is a player. The manager has the final say. If he sub, then get on with it and lose them damn egos. The Irish boys don't have any egos. There you go. Just let you know. Bellingham needs to learn to understand that he's not the be-all and end-all or the messiah of football. He's part of the team, no different from the rest of them. Big up, Wayne. I think that's right. Just very quickly, Rain, just on the international in Ireland and Scotland and Wales and the home nations. There was also last week the introduction for Euro 2028, which is being hosted by the United Kingdom and Ireland. Look, for me, for Ireland being hosted the first ever international tournament, I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely over the moon that we've been picked to host an international tournament. Do you think this is the way forward now, Rain? If you look at how tournaments are picked now, we had Japan and South Korea, didn't we, in 2002 World Cup? We've had Poland and Ukraine for 2016 European Championships. Do you prefer? Are you old-fashioned that you like one country, that's it for a tournament, or do you like the going 3 or 4 countries going for these big tournaments like we have in America this year, the World Cup, Canada, USA, Mexico?
Yeah.
Do you like that, or do you prefer the one country? Where are you on this sort of, on this sort of subject? Because I quite like this expanded. Everyone gets a taste of it, don't they? And there's more money for the countries for tourism as well, by the way.
I think Gerard's just posted where I'm going to go. I think the last big one, wasn't it, was South Africa. That went to a country that had never really been a sort of a footballing power. And like even Russia, Russia's got the infrastructure, and the South Africans spent a huge amount of money. Gerard said there on setting up all the stadiums, in the hope that that would sort of progress football internally within South Africa to a decent standard. I would say it probably hasn't. They don't perform on the international stage at all. So, and by all accounts, a lot of those stadiums are now, not being fully utilised.
Yeah,
So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good way to ensure that nations which don't have extensive infrastructure can be involved in, and people inside those countries, and let's face it, the people you really want to be encouraged by these types of events are the kids.
yeah,
That's what we want, isn't it? We
it
want
is.
we want them to be sucked in to our miserable into our emotional roller coaster. Let me put it that way, of
Yeah,
supporting our national teams and our club teams. And I am like Wayne. I really only watch the finals. I don't really. As an England fan, there's nothing to watch, in terms of the group games. So I think it's a good thing. I think they're doing it with Morocco as well,
mm.
aren't they?
Yeah, that's in 2030. I mean, that's 6 countries hosting that. There's
Yeah.
3 hosts in South America and 3 hosts in Europe. Look, I understand it's the 100th anniversary of the World Cup. Why not just have it all in Uruguay? That's where it started. Just be simple about it. And
Mm.
I think, look, you look at the Olympics, you look at World Cups. I do feel countries do look. It costs a lot to host them, but I think they get some of that money back through tourism, the infrastructure of the pubs and the restaurants and everything. Get loads of money, hotels as well. So if you look at it, they do get that money back with all the fans buying in, staying in hotels, dinners, drinks, going around the cities. And look, and I think for Ireland, it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I think for us, it's
I
it's
mean,
going to be a
can I
great
ask
one.
you, how many
Yeah,
stadiums in Ireland, are probably are capable of accommodating, an
one,
international football match?
one, the Aviva, one.
So,
Look,
so I mean,
we
so
have just a
that's
quick
the
go on that,
fundamental.
right? Sorry,
So that's the
there,
fundamental problem, isn't it? And
yeah,
this is why this is such a brilliant way to solve it. It's one now. You know, does does football in Ireland take off? Probably not. But you never know. Maybe at some point there'll be two. You know, and then it's a different case. I think we don't realise just how spoilt we are
mm,
in England in particular, but also in Scotland,
yeah,
and in other major European
mm,
nations. It's how
yeah.
spoilt we are in terms of the quality of the football stadiums and the infrastructure.
You're
Um,
lucky in that way. You are lucky in that way because don't forget in Ireland, GAA is one that is the biggest sport here in Ireland. That and rugby. Soccer is the third sport. So we call it over here soccer. It's the
yeah,
third sport over here. But it's very funny that you got the rugby's for like the posh side of Ireland, and then GAA, and the soccer is for the non-posh. It's quite funny. But you go to look, we've got Croke Park, which is a massive stadium for that's only used for GAA. Now I don't know if the GAA were allowed that stadium to be used for soccer. Not a hell's chance. The Aviva, which is used for rugby and soccer, which is a joint venture between the two sports. Soccer stadiums in Ireland are not great. We all need a major infrastructure lift in that way. You look at GAA pitches or stadiums and that they're in a far better state than what soccer stadiums are. But if you're looking at soccer as a whole in Ireland, the attendances in Ireland been rising year in, year out for the last couple of years in Irish soccer. If you look at the teams, 2 Irish teams qualified for the first time for league phases of the European competitions, the Conference League, and I think both in the Conference League. So Irish soccer is doing quite well. We're growth. We had a major spurt in the 90s under Jack Charlton, 90 to 92, really 2002. And then after that, it went on a downhill, went downhill really well. But we're now starting to come up again. And one thing it is against us is our governing body is so corrupt in the way that it's handled soccer in this country. It's the most corrupt organization going. It puts FIFA to shame. I mean, very quickly, our former chief executive of the FAI through a 21st birthday party for his daughter, but they'd done it as a James Bond thing. Now, that didn't come out of his own pocket. That came out of the FIA's pocket. So he took money away from grassroots football to throw a James Bond theme party. I mean,
James Bond theme party.
Rain, it's true. You can look it up. John Delaney. If you look up John Delaney, seriously, it's got Gerald back me up. It's true. And the government have said, right, we're not going to bail you out. The governing body's in debt of millions. I think it's between 40 and 60 million euro in debt. Now they're getting a 38 million euro influx of money because of hosting Euro 2028. And they're asking the government, can you do the rest? The government are saying, no, we're not gonna help you out. Unless you prove to us you can run your own company properly, we're not gonna help you out. And it for me, it then goes down to it's disadvantaging the young kids that want to play soccer. You look at GAA have the best pitches. You go and play soccer, you have to clean off the cow shit on the field before you go and play. You look at the difference between the two different organizations. Gerald will tell you as well. GAA and rugby are so well infrastructured, and we're not. But I think the League of Ireland is doing a fantastic job. We've got growing attendances again this year. And I think the FEI have rarely let us down. But the League of Ireland, whoever's doing that, brilliant. Can't fault them. And again, another great seat. We just finished our season. It's been a brilliant season for League of Ireland. It really has. And I mean,
Australia's always had the same problem, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's got such strength in Aussie rules, football, which I love, by the way. I used to watch that in the 80s and 90s a lot, when I was sports mad, when I just used to watch sports just constantly, and it's absolutely brutal, but it's a very, like GAA, it's very much and like actually NFL in the US, it's very much a local sort of passion. And that sucks up a lot of athletic athletic ability internally. Is there? I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that.
I don't think there is, Rain. Look, the GAA goes right back through Ireland's history, right back before the War of Independence, right back before the Easter Rising. It goes right back before then. The GAA is intertwined in our history, in our fight for freedom and our fight for becoming independent. So it's always been intertwined within the country of, it's always been there. It's been there since day dot, I would assume. Rugby is a later sport that came in probably through the English, and soccer as well. I think I read somewhere, and that's why we have a united rugby team, but we don't have a united soccer team, because the Irish FA and the Northern Irish FA can't agree. And this all links back to the Civil War, to the Irish Civil War. And it's so ridiculous that in 2025 that we can't have a united Ireland soccer team, where, I mean, Northern Ireland are doing brilliantly at the moment into the playoffs. I know we're going to get Northern Ireland in tomorrow's draw somewhere along the line. I know we are. It's bound to happen. It is bound to happen. But look, that draw is live tomorrow at 1 with me and Dave and Irish Lads Talk Spurs. But Rain, let's get on with it.
Just to say very quickly, the politics of football associations is fascinating. It's actually fascinating.
It is.
Obviously, within the UK, we should have. I mean, you say you should have a united Ireland team.
Yeah.
I mean, let's forget that. Let's put that to one side. Right? Let's put it to one side. Technically, we should. And I know that there's some countries who've really complained. Technically, we should have a united, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, a United Kingdom team.
See,
That's
that's where you and me can have an argument, mate. You leave Northern Ireland out of this; it belongs to us.
Well, you can argue about Northern Ireland, but technically they're part of the UK.
I know,
Right?
I know, I know.
But politically, they're part of the UK. So we can have that
Yeah,
argument. But
yeah,
even if you put that to one side, Scotland
yeah.
and Wales, right?
I
But
get it.
then,
I get it.
then it's not just us.
No.
Then you have to go and you can go into other places like San Marino.
Yeah.
San Marino does not have a seat in the United Nations.
I know.
And yet
But we've got a football team.
it has an international football team. What's the other one? There's one near Spain. What's the one near Spain? I can't remember what it is.
Oh yeah, I can't think. I know what you're on about.
But there's loads of these little countries which FIFA have recognised, but are not. I'm surprised that Monaco doesn't have like its own, international football team.
It does. I think it does.
No,
I think Monaco does. I think it does. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody can let me know. I think it does. I really do think it does.
Anyway, it is fascinating that the politics of FIFA, because obviously every Olympics that comes round, there's a major problem for Great Britain, because Great Britain then has to cobble together, and we cobbled together a football team for 2012, and it was fantastic. It's such a shame that it was like the Lions. Do you know what I mean? It was really, really, really good. And it's like,
you look at the Lions rugby team,
they
right?
can't do that.
Yeah, but you look at the Lions rugby team. That is every Ireland. See, Ireland have one rugby team. It's easier then to pick a Lions team because it isn't divided. Do you know what I mean? It's one team. Ireland is one nation in rugby terms. So you've got players from the north, players from the south, and it's all picked. One. Sorry.
Anyway, but there you go. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I want to say big up to Tequila. I hope you're doing well, bud. How are we doing? We're doing fine, Tequila. I hope you're doing well, bud. And I hope you're sorting out your internet issue, because I know there is. It's not just. I think it's around the place. I think. I think it's not everywhere. I had problems yesterday, so I don't know what the crack is. But look, I hope you get sorted out soon. But anyway, we're going to talk about your favorite player. We're going to talk about Basuma. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. Now, Tottenham plan to extend Basuma's contract to stop him leaving on a free transfer at the end of the season. Basuma's current deal expires in June, but Tottenham has a one-year option they intend to trigger to preserve his value if he's not sold in January. Rain, look, where are you going with this? Look, we talked about it before. I made a joke, which I won't repeat live on air, what they should do when it comes to offering him new contracts. I'm sure Tequila's looking at it, laughing, know what I'm thinking. He's not really part of Thomas Frank's plans, is he? So would you try to sell him in January? Or do you think you should let his contract run out? If he goes for nothing, he goes for nothing.
If it was up to me at the beginning of the summer window, I would have gone to Basuma and I would have said, you will not be part of this football club next year. So you need to find yourself another club. We are going to accept £10 million. So if you find a team that will pay that much money for you, then you are free to go. And in the back of my mind, I'd be thinking, I'm going to accept 5. So because I think his time has come and gone. I've seen far too much. I've seen far too much from Basuma on the pitch, where he's lost his head. He has. I was one of these people who wanted Eric Dyer to leave, but you'll never hear me say he's rubbish. He's this, he's that. I want to be very, very clear about the analysis that I think a particular player falls down in. So with Eric Dyer, just as an example, Eric Dyer, it had a very particular problem, which was he couldn't judge the flight of the ball that was coming across him when it was in the air. And if you go back and look at mistakes that Eric Dyer made, they were all, when the ball came, was crossed, and you don't actually see that many crosses these days.
No.
When the ball was crossed across the penalty area, and he had to clear it. That just was not in his. For some reason, he had a blind spot in that, which is a major blind spot when you're a centre back.
It is.
Yves Bissouma has a very particular problem, in my opinion. He cannot suffer. He cannot play out of being double pressed. So if two players are pressing him, if one player is pressing him, his instinct is to turn with the ball and run out of the problem. That's his instinct. The problem is, if you've got two players pressing you, and your instinct is, I'm going to run away from the player who's challenging me, you usually run into the other player, and that's what happened with Bissouma consistently. So everyone who's like, oh, he's rubbish, no. He has this blind spot. He has this particular blind spot that he clearly is just a part of his game, and he cannot work out. A really good example was Arsenal last year. Partey challenged him. He retained the ball, Bissouma.
Yeah.
It was on the halfway line. He retained the ball. He turned, but unfortunately, because he's got this blind spot where he's ultra focused on the one player who's pressing him, he turned right into Odegaard, who nicked the ball off him because, he just turned. He had no idea what was going on. He had no spatial awareness. Odegaard took the ball and they scored. And everyone's like, oh, he's lost the ball again. He lost the ball because he was double pressed. He would not have lost the ball if it was just him and Partey.
I agree.
This is my opinion, my analysis. The other thing is just this: all of these dramas that we have with him. It's just, if it was Dermot, if it was any workplace, if it was a building site, if it was an office, anyone who can't turn up on time and is found to be doing illegal activities, because that's what the balloon. The balloon's not legal. It's right. Yeah, they don't prosecute people, but I don't think it's in that grey area, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
And especially if you're a professional sportsman, right? But any workplace are not going to suffer people who don't meet those basic requirements.
Yeah.
So if it was me, I would have just told him to sack off in the summer. Now, coming to this, my opinion of this is that this is bonkers, right? That's my opinion of it. It's like, we can't sell you, so we're going to extend your contract so that we can sell. This make it make sense. It doesn't make sense.
They're hard up for money. They were going to extend his contract just to get some.
For him. We're going to get 5 or 10 million. He's what on 100. Let's say he's on 100 grand a week. That's 5 million a year. So a player who we're going to maybe get 10 million for, we're going to give him a £5 million contract. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I saw Bissouma at Palace. I was over for the Palace game. I am coming to the Brentford game, by the way. It's going to be a journey, but I'm getting there. It's called by boat. I'm railing and sailing it. I'm doing the blog on it. I will do a blog. My journey over and back. It's going to be mayhem, but I'm going to it. Somehow. Look, for me, I saw him at Crystal Palace when I was over there, and he was useless that day. He came on. But I think Ange Postecoglou deserves criticism for this, because he should have nipped this in the bud on day one, and he didn't. And he let it fester and fester and fester and fester. Then you had the balloon outbreak. Then you had, during the season, he wasn't committed, and he made him feel, you're my main man. You're special. You're going to be my main man. And he didn't offer anything. So, look, Tottenham should have cancelled the contract. We knew what we were getting. We knew what he did up in Brighton. Yes, innocent until proven guilty. He got found innocent in the court of law. But He has not, for me. We didn't get the player we thought we were getting. So Basuma, it's a bizarre one for me. I agree with you, Rain. Tottenham should have said start the season, find yourself another club, get it done, get it sorted. Now here's another one. Mateus Tell. This is from Goal. The rumours are the Roma have opened talks to sign Mateus Tell in January, and then Tottenham struggle as Evan Ferguson disappoints Serie A title holders. Look very quickly on this. Rain, look, my opinion, Evan Ferguson has struggled ever since his injury, so he's never got back to the heights that he had before. He will get there. Look at Troy Parrott. He will get there. He just probably he'll probably get there in a different speed. On Mateus Tell, me and Tequila were both sort of looked at each other and went, why? 35 million. We should have got him on another loan with an obligation to buy or an option to buy, give him another season. He's done well in some of the games he's come on to for us, but I think he hasn't done great in all the games he's come on. You go to the home games more than me, so I'm only seeing. I always say you see more at a stadium than you do on television. You see more of the tactics or the off the field, off the ball, what he does off the ball more than you do on television, because all you see is just them passing each other. Well, I think when you go to a game, you can see what a player does off the ball, what work he does, defensive work does he off the ball, sort of offensive and defensive work. I like Tell. I do like him. I got a soft spot for him, but I don't think this would be a bad idea. If he's unhappy, then yeah, I'd say let him go to Italy for 6 months with an obligation to buy or an option to buy.
So I don't think Tell had a terrible 6 months when he was on that 6 months loan. I mean, we do have to remember that that he was in a team, and he was mainly in the Premier League team, which by all accounts, according even to our previous manager Ange Postecoglou, he was in a team that effectively just decided that they weren't going to bother with the Premier League anymore. They were going to focus all their energy elsewhere. So he was in a team that was operating in second gear, and he very clearly has an engine. Very clearly has the right attitude. Whether that was impacted by that last year, I don't know. But he has the fundamental problem, which is he's a young man. Young men are learning, so young men make mistakes that they learn from, and that's why people are always never going to be good enough. No. He's just learning. He's inconsistent. And then you get the other people who say, "Oh, you should give him time." I'm very clear that we shouldn't. We shouldn't have signed him as a first team player. And I use the example at the moment of Chelsea, who are playing Esteval and Gittins, players who are 60 to 100 million pound players already. They're already 50 to 60 million pound players. But they don't start them. They give them 15 minutes at the end of the games because they're developing them, because they're giving them 15 minutes to play, so that they make less mistakes. But they're still learning from minutes in games. Unfortunately, we've signed Tell as a first team player, so we're getting 90 minutes worth of mistakes. 4 times, 4 or 5 times the amount that Chelsea. We're just not managing him properly.
I agree on that.
So would I be open to us selling him? It entirely depends, and I know you're going to come to this. Entirely depends on who we get in, because we are short on numbers. So I don't know. Evan Ferguson's a very interesting one, isn't it? I think the problem with Evan is, will he ever get pace back? Because
and he hasn't got it since his injury, and that's the problem. Look, I like Evan Ferguson. I really thought he was going to be the real deal before he got his injury, and he was heading in that direction. Since the injury, he's not been the same player since, internationally or for his club side. I thought the move to Italy was a good move for him. I thought it's a fresh start. Early signs there in Italy that he was playing very well. He was settling in. He was working hard. I just feel that these young players, Rain, that they get so much money so quickly that the desire and the hunger to prove themselves goes. It's like, well, we've already made it. We're already millionaires. So we don't have to want for anything. That means I don't have to work for anything. And you look back at the players back in the day when you and me were younger, and the
Yeah.
players when we were watching, what was it? You'd be on 100, 200 quid a week. And you got a first team player on probably 2-3 grand a week. And you don't get that until you reach this target. And then he had the hunger to get there. And he only got that 3 grand unless he was a proven first teamer. So I think these young players get too much too soon, and the hunger for them to build on their talent, to prove to people they can be the best players in the world, goes because they've already made it. They've already become millionaires. All the
Yeah.
families are looked after, and it's the same in any sport. The hunger goes.
Yeah, I think
And
the problem is that Matisse Tell is not currently a £35 million player.
no, it's not. No way.
And when you're purchased for 35 million, then obviously you get a wage that reflects that. And so that's the problem. The problem is,
Yeah.
look, I probably wouldn't have signed Matisse. Well, I certainly wouldn't have signed Matisse Tell for the first team
No.
in the summer. But having said that, now that we have him, and I will say, I'm very clearly of the opinion that Frank is developing players. I am seeing, people were expecting, all of a sudden players are going to go from, a skill of 80 to like skill of 95, and that's not the way that life works. But I am seeing players sort of adding things. We've seen with Tell, some quality. He's clearly got the right attitude. He's bounced back from the boo boys, the haters after PSG, after the PSG Super Cup. So he's clearly got the right chutzpah, and now that he's inside the club, and considering we don't really have the numbers, I think we've got to keep him and try and progress him.
Yeah. I don't think a loan's a bad idea for 6 months. I don't. If it's going out getting fitness and football. But look, we need strikers badly. It depends who we bring in January anyway to cover. Because look, let's face it. I think Tell is a better player than Richarlison. I think Mr. Blobby's a better player than Richarlison. And how that man can get into a Brazilian team? Well, they must be having the worst Brazilian team in history. Because you're looking there. Even the Brazilian fans don't want Richarlison playing. Even they say he's shit. So if the Brazilian fans are saying he's shit, Tottenham fans are saying he's crap. Something's right in the middle. Look, I love Richarlison, but very quickly on him, I don't want to spend too much time on Richie, but I feel he's lost his shithousery. Something has gone from his game that's affected him. And whatever that is, either it's inside the club or outside the club, it needs sorting, because I just feel something's missing from his game, whatever that is. I don't know what it is though.
I would just say I'm a charlatan. There needs to be a little bit of self-realization.
Yeah,
that
I agree.
That he's not buying the free kicks that he thinks he's buying. He is being ignored, and he's getting frustrated about it. Well, do you know what? Actually, the referees are not the problem. The problem is that you're not doing it well enough to buy the free kicks. And if you can't do it well enough, then do you know what? Just stay on your feet. Yeah, exactly. It's a very simple equation, isn't it?
It is. You're at the game and I'm doing the watch along, and we're like pulling our hairs out. What the fuck are you doing? Like, we can see you've just fell over, and the referee's that stupid. They're gonna, say, "Oh, we're gonna give a free kick." He would get a free kick. He does that 10 times. I would say once or 2 out of 10 times he does that, he'll get a free kick. The other 9 or 8 times, the referee's just going to ignore it and say, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Get on with
I
it."
know.
Anyway,
I don't see many referees giving us those types of fouls. So, you know,
especially the one we got Sunday. He won't give us
well,
jack shit.
Michael Oliver, we've got that's going to be
Yeah,
very
and Stuart Atwell's on the VAR. We haven't got a fucking hope. We've lost already.
I mean, Madison doesn't get them either.
Yeah,
Semenyo. So
Semenyo, right.
Dermot,
Yo,
at the start of the summer window,
yeah,
people were, you know, there was a list of people who potentially we could get for that left-hand side.
he was one of them.
He was on that list.
Yeah,
and he was, and everyone else was interested in Savio, was interested in Rodrigo. I have to say he was at the top of my list. Now, why was he at the top of my list? Because I love going to watch football, and
yeah,
I've seen him come to Tottenham and dominate us in the last few seasons. Yeah. So when everyone was like, "Oh, Semenyo is actually a really good player" at the start of the season, you know, we had his breakout with Liverpool and stuff. And there's me sitting there and going, "Yeah, this isn't news to me. I've seen him do this before, and now he's
yeah,
having a bit of a dip." Okay, you know, it's the same with all. There's only a few players who like up here constantly, you know. Even those have their little dips. You know, Sonny was hot and cold. Kane wasn't consistent. Kane wasn't like every single game. Haaland maybe, you know, but even then he has a dip every now and again.
yeah,
But I absolutely love watching Semenyo in previous seasons when he came to, well, love and hate. Love from a oh, this is a really good player, but hate from a, oh my god, what is he doing to my team? Because he was absolutely fantastic. Like another player who, the first time I saw Caicedo
yeah,
playing for Brighton, he was basically playing at right back. And then sort of drifting into central midfield, he would drift between the two. And I turned to my mate next to me, who always bought a program. I said, "Can I borrow your program?" And I checked because I could only see his number. I didn't know who he was. Caicedo, I'm going to remember that name. He was amazing. You could
yeah, he
instantly
was.
see he was going to be an incredible player. And it's the same with Semenyo. I cannot see Semenyo coming to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Look, for me, I think he's going to end. I love him to come to Tottenham. Don't get me wrong. I would love it.
Yeah.
But I think he might end up at Liverpool, Manchester United. I think it might be one of them two clubs. We know Liverpool are after him to replace Salah, which I don't think is a bad option for Liverpool at the moment, to be fair, because I don't think Salah and Arne Slot are getting on very well. So I think for harmony for the Liverpool squad, I think that might be an option. Manchester United, well, Manchester. Who says no to Manchester United? Not a lot of people say no. Alan Shearer, yes. Did he regret it? Yeah.
Did
Did he
he?
win any? I think he said in an interview he didn't regret moving to Newcastle and signing for Newcastle.
Yeah.
But I think if you look what Manchester United won in that time period and what he could have achieved to what he did achieve, he said, I should have gone the other way. But I think if you're signing for your hometown club, I think if you're Newcastle born and bred, Newcastle's the draw for you, isn't it? But I feel Alan Shearer could have gone into a different level if he went to Manchester United. I feel he could have gone on to. I think he would have been probably the world's best striker now, close to R9, in my view, if he went to United. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? But I just feel I understand the draw to Newcastle. I do. But I think if he looks back now and thinks, look at my trophy cabinet. I was part of the treble winning side. I was successful under United. I think he might regret it deep down. I really do.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I don't think that man probably has many regrets.
No, I love listening to him on his podcast with Gary Lineker. Though I love listening to Alan Shearer talk. He talks a lot of sense. So, where do you think, out of the three clubs, Tottenham, Liverpool, Manchester United, where does he end up?
I think he's going to Manchester United. I hear the Mo Salah thing, but I'm quite clear. I know that he can play both wings. Semenyo. I don't think he plays as well on the right wing. I honestly, against Liverpool, he monstered them from the left wing. I remember him playing well against us. Earlier this season, when he played against us, it was from the left wing. I remember in previous seasons. I remember when I had to do my, Robin, can I borrow your program? Oh, his name's Semenyo. Thing. He was playing on the left wing. I think his downturn in form has coincided with moving over to the right. So I don't think that's the right thing for him to do, to be brutally honest. The only way that we could get Semenyo is if we started acting like a big boy club and paid him the wages and paid him 250 grand, because that's what's going to happen. Manchester United are going to give him a contract like they've got with Mbeumo, which is upwards of 200. We won't do that for Semenyo, which is the wrong thing. He is absolutely the profile of player we should be giving. Premier League proven, fits the exact spots that we need on that left wing. Clearly is a player, the right age, the right amount of experience, and I think he'd do an absolutely amazing job with works his socks off. I think he'd do an amazing job for Thomas Frank.
I think he will. Hello.
Yeah, how are we doing, guys?
Would you like to say anything to Google at the moment while you've got some airtime?
I don't know what's happened to the internet over the last couple of days, but my Google account is completely screwed. So
is mine. So is mine. I have all like my bank stuff on my Google account, and like my card somebody tried using my card for €700. And I'm thinking, what? Like, I have had to, my card was blocked and everything. I agree with it, Tequila. I blame Donald Trump. It's all his fault. I'm blaming him.
Let's just say it's taking me like 45 minutes to sign into StreamYard. It's crazy.
It is. Did you get the code in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
But I have to rely on Combi and around, isn't it? So it's like, bless him.
Barcelona have reportedly made the first move for Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur target Ravinan, given Francisco da Gama forward, a big decision to make. Don't know a lot about this player. I don't think none of us here do, but he is. Look, if Barcelona got money to burn, then I think he will go there, and that's where Harry Kane might end up as well in the summer. Kubo, a player I have loved for a long time. Any in the FIFA games, I've always bought him, and he's always done well for me. Tottenham Hotspur may finally land long-term target Tassifiku Kubo in January, with Real Sociedad willing to sell the attacker. Thomas Frank is looking to add his attacking options in the upcoming transfer window, with Tottenham currently slightly underwhelming going forward. Kubo has been touted
slightly.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, I'm surprised he said that. I knew when I put this together, that was in my head when I said slightly underwhelmed. I knew you might make a comment on that. Kubo has been touted with the move to the Premier League for several years, and it's finally going to materialize in January. Please sign this player up. He can play on the left side. He's a genius. I love him. Sign him up now. I've signed him in every FIFA or EA Sport game. He's done brilliant for me. I signed him as a young player. I sold him, bought him for 20. I sold him for 150 million, to Real Madrid. I tell you, this player is a sensational player. No, seriously, he is a really good player. I love him.
I get you. He's a right winger. He plays right wing.
He can play left as well.
Well, maybe he can play left, but he's played like 80% of his career on the right wing. So that the 20% on the left, 20% away from the right wing is very much the exception rather than the rule. Is he the right profile of player for us? What is he? 25? He's not that old. He's like, so that's decent. He's had a good few years. I don't know if in real life his stats, his GA is for Sociedad, right? Is it Sociedad? I don't know if it's brilliant. I don't know. He feels like a punt. He feels like a punt to me. He feels like might be good, might not be good. There's always some doubt, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think I'm with you on this one, Dermo. I also know with him from stuff like video games, he's very good in those games for sure. My concern would be he's quite slight. He's another quite slight player, and we've seen that Simmons, who may still come good, I'm not writing Simmons off yet, but he is another very quite tiny player. And you see teams like Arsenal, and their whole team's got, I was about to swear there, brick houses of players, very big physical players. And I'm just a little bit concerned that if we have too many of our smaller players, the physicality might be an issue. That saying, the best player maybe of our generation was Lionel Messi, and he certainly wasn't a large character. So I'm not saying it's everything.
His legs were like tree trunk. His legs were like tree
trunk. That's true. His legs were big. I'm not saying that just because a player's small, they're not effective. I'm not. I'm just saying is that you look around the Premier League and it's a very physical league, and would be slightly concerned of too many, But talent-wise, I think he's very good, and also he's at Sociedad with all due respect. So Spurs would be a move up. It means that we've got a chance, Dermo.
Yeah,
we've got a chance for a player like this because it's an upward move for them.
It is,
So we've got a chance, but we need to act fast though, because he'll have other suitors, as that article says.
Well, Arsenal and I think Liverpool and somebody else is after him as well. So,
well, if Liverpool are after him, you can write it off. I'm not being funny.
Liverpool are after Semenyo as well, so
you can probably write that off as well. Then.
Well, that's what me and Rain were saying, that we think he won't be coming to Tottenham. Sadly,
not if you got the league champions after you. No.
Now this one, hope never happens. Tequila hopes it does happen.
What's this?
Rodrigo.
God. Well, yes, just only because you put your foot in it. That's the only reason I want it to happen.
Yeah, for comedy value, Tequila hopes it does happen. He's praying to the footballing gods. It happens.
Don't put stuff on the internet, Dermo, because it stays there forever.
And you clipped it, didn't you? You and Colin clipped it. I bet you Colin fucking clipped it. Anyway, this is a man from Football Insider. They know nothing. Football Insider know nothing at all. They know nothing, but we sort of mention it anyway. It's from the financial man that's been saying about Man City were going to get done by the Premier League in the end of the transfer window. Hey ho, the international window's over, and still Man City haven't been done. He says he thinks that, basically, to run through the whole article, he thinks Tottenham have more of a chance of getting Rodrigo on loan than a permanent deal. Now, if you look at,
sorry, Darren. So go
ahead. So guys, look, my question is to you: would you take him on a loan? Yeah or nay? And also, to put a second part to this question, where I feel that I think could be a problem, I think he might bring an unhealthy balance to the dressing room. And I think that is my problem with it.
Why?
Gifted footballer, absolutely fantastic footballer, but is he the right fit for a Thomas Frank?
Why do you think he'd bring it? Why would you think he in particular would bring a negative aspect?
Because of what I'm seeing coming out of Real Madrid at the moment. And if you look, there's too many big egos at Real Madrid, and egos get bruised easy. And I just feel that if he doesn't hit the ground running at Tottenham, if he did come to Tottenham and he didn't hit the ground running, some of the fans get on his back a little bit. I just feel he might throw his toys out the pram. Who the hell are they? I'm a greatest footballer in the
But don't you think you need some? Don't you think, just to be a devil's advocate here? Don't you think you need some? Don't you think our team lacks winners?
I get what you're saying. I don't mind winners. I don't mind a Roy Keane type player.
Yeah,
But I don't think we need a complete diva coming into the football club. Now, he might not be. He might be a really lovely lad. He might be all just paper talk, and he may be a great professional, gets on with his job, and everything's hunky-dory. But if what I'm reading is coming out of Real Madrid, what apparently he's been saying and going to the president is either the manager or me, and I don't want that in my football club. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are. You come in with the right attitude, and you work hard. You don't come in there like a diva. Edgar Davids tried that, and Robbie King punched him in the changing room, in the training ground, and knocked him clean out because he thought he was above everyone else. You don't do that at Tottenham.
I would have signed Rodrigo on loan in the summer because we needed somebody on that left-hand side. He plays both, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But we needed somebody on that left-hand side. He's barely played for Madrid this season, which is understandable given the players that he's up against. So he can diva all he wants. He's not getting ahead of the players who are in front of him. He just isn't. That's just the reality of the club that he's at. I would not sign him on loan in January, and I'll tell you why. He will have one eye on the Summer World Cup. Now, some people might say, "Oh, well, then he'll want to really show and perform." But what we've actually seen is that a lot of players, when it comes to sort of April and May, they don't really want to get injured. They need to make sure they get to the World Cup, and the way to make sure you get to the World Cup is you can't be injured. So my concern would be, especially coming into a much more physical league like the Premier League, that what we would see is not the best of Rodrigo in a 6-month loan spell in the run up to a Summer World Cup. I think if we'd had him at the start of the season, then Frank would have worked on him. We would have seen a different type of player. That would be my concern.
Yeah, no. Tequila, where are you on it, bud?
I think Rain makes a good point. It probably would have been better to get him in the summer, and you can ask questions about why we didn't. I'm supposing we thought we had a chance with Silvinho, and that was the reason we didn't. I mean, obviously we had no chance. There's no way we were going to pay, what was it, 75 million they wanted for him or something like that in the end. So I never thought Spurs would go to that number, especially if they wanted Simmons as well. There's no way that we were going to spend that. So a loan would have made sense because there's obviously a gaping gap in our squad. Rain's kind of right again with the loan at the 6-month period, but my only thing I can say against what you said is he's better than nothing.
Well, there is that.
Because unless there's another option, and I don't know what this option would be, then I'd take him over what we've currently got. Even if he is a bit of a diva, I still think probably with his quality he's going to do a better job than anyone else we're going to play on the left. Let's be honest. So if that's the best we can do, then bring him in. Ideally, no. But if there's no options, then because I don't think we're going to go and spend. I know people want us to, but I don't think we're going to go and spend 150 million in January to get a striker and a left. No, I'll be shocked if we get one, let alone both. Yeah. So this might be our only option.
I agree, Tequila. Look, there's more chance. That's why I said it. There's more chance. If he does sign, I will do a show in my boxer shorts. I will open the show in my boxer shorts. I've done, and that's how confident I am. He's not coming to Tottenham. That is how confident. Now, I could be told on the 1st of January.
What's his wages? It must be really much higher than any of the rest of our players. What's his wages for a start? Must be 200 plus. It's got to be.
Well, this will then tell me about the Lewis family, which way they're going to go. If they pay the wages, then we know there's a shift in mentality. If they're going down the same road as Daniel Levy, then look, we know they're not. But look, that's all the rumors that was around, guys. All I could find. There's a couple of pre-records coming out the next couple of days. One of them is going to be on course the Tottenham Arsenal game coming up. There's a few content creators are sending me or doing videos of the all-time Tottenham Arsenal 11. That video will be out on Saturday morning for you guys. I think Dave's doing a video for me. Bobby from the football, I called it Takeaway. It's not the football Takeaway. I forget the name of it now. He's doing his all-time Spurs 11. We are on here. Me and the guys are going to do one. I think we're doing individual ones, so the guys are going to do their ones. I know Rayman sent his over as well. We've got Spurs King TV. They're sending over a video for me as well. So that will be up on Saturday. There will be a video out Friday night as well for the build-up. So at 4 o'clock, guys, I will be live for members only build-up for the Tottenham Arsenal London Derby. There will be also video for you as well coming up over the next few days of a new history retro show where I'll go over the history of Tottenham Arsenal, where it started, where in the middle, and how we've ended it and how we are going to end it. Did you know the first ever North London derby was stopped for hooliganism?
That was Dermo ran onto the pitch, didn't you, Dermo?
No, somebody stood on top of a food cart and broke it, and that's how the fight started.
And you're telling me that wasn't you?
No,
you were just hungry. You were just hungry, weren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Was this person just in their pants? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was me. It was me. I need to go and eat a Wichita drum now.
Was it a true North London derby at that point, or was it?
No, it wasn't. They just yeah. I will. Was it a true North London derby? I think it was. I think they just.
It can't have been. I thought they moved in like the 20s, wasn't it?
No, 19. They moved it actually 1909. I think they moved into North London. I mean, Tequila guys. I mean, look. I mean, Arsenal were that smart then. They built a stadium next to an open sewer. I mean, I would love to know the architect that actually said, "I'm going to build you a stadium."
It was smart, dude. It was smart for them to build next to the sewer. It was a short trip to home for the players.
Yeah, it was actually. That's true.
They were hanging out with the Ninja Turtles.
You leave the Ninja Turtles out of this, bless them. They're all Tottenham fans. Anyway, yeah, we've got that coming up, and then we've got a few other bits and pieces as well. I'm going to try to get a couple of pre-record videos out a week for you guys. Just a little bit of news and what's happening. We at Spurs said it was a kebab cart. Ended the first derby. That's what I don't know if it was the kebab cart or whatever. It was some. I will find the full story for you. Of course, then we're going to look into Arsenal bribing people to not let Tottenham go into the first division, which is more serious. I mean, Arsenal have got away with that. Where's the investigation into Arsenal for bribing FA officials? FA, why are you not doing them? I mean, come on. And yeah, so loads of bit of fun. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. And then that's coming out as well. And then on Sunday, you got Before the Whistle. You have also the watch along and the match report, match reactions, and then final score on Monday. On Saturday evening, I'm on with Bobby and the gang for the pre-match show, and then that will be streamed live here on THFC Till We Die, and also on their match reactions on Sunday night as well. So I'd like to get over the next few days. I have to quickly dash to watch I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of here, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. But Tequila, where can people find you, bud? Because I think you're going live about now, aren't you?
We did a show earlier on, a little podcast for your show. We didn't do it over StreamYard, so I didn't have to log in. It was done via Discord. But yeah, there's South Park, I think, is happening as we speak. It should be anyway, I think so. So yeah, that'll be on tonight on the Play Pouch. If you guys love South Park, join us then. I'll be on your show, Dermo, if I can. It will depend if this internet stuff continues and it takes me this long to sign into StreamYard every time. I'm going to have a problem, aren't I? But hopefully I can fix it. But it's an issue right now.
Can I just say you are live now with South Park? I'm just watching the little lady. I'm just watching Kenny with funny eyes.
Yes.
Where's Kenny going? Kenny, come back. Come back, Kenny.
It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, do watch it. There's lots of adult content on it, though.
Yeah.
I'd rather we'll be starting at 10. Let's put it that way. But there we are.
Yeah. No, we are on tomorrow as well. Join me and Dave tomorrow at 1. Me and Dave, Irish Lads Talk Spurs, are on tomorrow. And then, of course, me and Tequila will be back tomorrow night with all things Tottenham, as we are going to start the build-up tomorrow night. And really, it is the battle. We're going to get an Arsenal fan on if we can. And it is called the Battle of the North London. Battle of North London. We're going to start tomorrow because North London is what it always will be. Rainman, where can people find you, sir?
Just sort of in chat. That's where I am. I'm an interloper. I sort of pop onto various people's streams and share my opinion, and hope that it's appreciated. Thank you very much for having me, putting up with me, tolerating me.
I love having you on. Tequila's the same, aren't you, Tequila? I think he's great to have on, isn't he? I love his insight.
Yeah.
I know you're the same, aren't you?
Yeah, and you can have a laugh as well, and that's important. If you're going to do a show, you need to be able to, relax, chill, have a laugh. No, it's all good, man.
Various places, but nowhere that's my own. I'm a bit of a hobo. I'm a YouTube hobo.
Oh, yeah. You're like that dog in the 1980s, that cartoon that just kept wandering from town to town, that had the really sad soundtrack to it.
Yes.
What was the name of that dog now?
The littlest hobo.
That's it.
Yeah,
So is that you now? So every time I hear that song, I'm going to think of you now. You know that. That's in my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all know that. Tequila is the $7 million man. You know, you can see him.
Steve Austin, yeah, man.
Steve, you're Steve Austin.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm part of Thunderbirds. Thunderbird 1 on that bombshell. I used to love Thunderbirds as a kid. Still do. I see it now, and you're thinking, how the hell did I watch that as a kid? But I loved it. Right. Okay, that is it. That is the show. I know it's a bit quick tonight, but I'm going off to watch I'm Celebrity, so I'm going to watch that with Mrs. Tron. And whatever you do, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Plenty of more content coming out. And again, thank you. I like Mrs. Tron's laughing. Something funny must be happening. Hang on, 24 million into Key's bank account. 24 billion.
If I had 24 billion, I'd buy Spurs.
How much would you pay? How much? Hang on, right. Okay, we were going, but for 2 minutes, you just bought Spurs. Where are we working in Tottenham? Please give me the commercial. Please give me like the PR department.
PR department. Who would I hire? I don't know. I'd hire all you guys. I'd do it for a laugh though. I'm a bit like that. I got a weird sense of humor, so I'd just highlight some people for a laugh.
Can you imagine me in charge?
Yes, this is what I mean. This is why I do it. I'd do it for a laugh. Yes, I would. Rain can join as well. I will get Com on. He's not a Spurs fan. All you guys. I'd invite all you guys on the board. We'd all be the board members making decisions. Imagine that.
Yeah. Can you imagine me being in promotion for the Tottenham Arsenal game at the Tottenham Hotspur?
I would. I'd send you out to do all the interviews, Dave. I'd send you out there just live.
Can you imagine the delusional that would be coming out North London Derby week? It'd be unreal.
No, you'd get everyone geared up because you'd say we're going to win every game 4-0. I mean, that would be it, and you could just
I got called negative tonight, by the way.
You negative? That's the last thing I'd call you, bro.
I did because I said I thought we were going to lose to Arsenal.
If you're negative, what the hell does that make me? If Dermo's negative, wow.
Can we just put that on that bombshell? We'll leave it there. That was clearly somebody who just doesn't know you, Dermot. Clearly somebody that just doesn't know you in any way, shape, or form.
Well, on that bombshell, we are going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Big up to everyone that's coming in. Big up to Colin. Everyone's come in. I'm out of here. See you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Come on, you Spurs. In Thomas Frank we trust. North London is white and blue forever. Good night. Go on, Tequila. Take us out, son.
I hate Google, mate. I hate it. Just who I am, mate.
Come to Chrome. It's the new home. Good night.